On the morning of December 22, 1999, a fire in a two-story duplex claimed the lives of 3 children and 3 firefighters. At the request and under the sponsorship of the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, NIOSH, NIST has examined the fire dynamics of this incident. NIST has performed computer simulations of the fire using the newly developed NIST Fire Dynamics Simulator, or FDS, and SmokeView, a visualization tool to provide insight on the fire development and thermal conditions that may have existed in the residence during the fire. This account of the events relative to this fire is based on information provided to NIST by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and NIOSH. The following is an overview of NIST IR 6854, the report that describes the computer simulations. For more details on the incident and the fire department response, please refer to NIOSH Report F-2004. The fire occurred in the right half of the duplex. The entry doors to the 2 units are located next to each other under the porch roof on the left side of the photograph. The first floor includes a hall with stairs to the second floor, living room, dining room, kitchen, and bathroom. The second floor includes a hall with stairs down to the first floor, front bedroom, middle bedroom, rear bedroom, and bathroom. This is the back side of the house where the heavily damaged area on the first floor is the kitchen and the area above the second floor is the rear bedroom. The fire started in plastic materials on the top of the stove in the kitchen on the first floor of the residence. An adult occupant sleeping upstairs in the front bedroom awoke to the cries of a child. The adult opened the front bedroom door to the hall and found hot, smoky conditions. The adult returned to the front bedroom, opened the window on the front side of the house, and called for help, alerting several neighbors. It is believed that the calls to 911 began shortly after this. The first call was received by the dispatcher's office at approximately 8:24 a.m. The adult returned to the smoky upstairs hallway, found the crying child, and exited the residence by the front bedroom window onto the roof of the porch. Approximately 2 minutes later, 8:26 a.m., firefighters and police began to arrive at the scene. The smoke plume was visible as firefighters approached the scene, and there was little if any wind disturbing the plume. The adult occupant was outside with the child and explained that 3 other children were still in the house. The front door to the residence was forced open by a police officer at approximately 8:27 a.m. The officer discovered heavy smoke conditions. He could not make entry into the house. At 8:28 a.m., the first arriving crew of firefighters prepared to enter the residence and placed a call requesting additional firefighters. At approximately 8:31 a.m., the fire chief arrived at the fire scene with an additional firefighter. 3 firefighters entered the house and brought 2 infants from upstairs bedrooms to the front door. 2 police vehicles were used to transport the infants to the hospital. The fire chief was administering CPR to the second infant on the way to the hospital. Based on radio transmissions, the first infant was en route to the hospital at approximately 8:34 a.m., and the second infant was en route to the hospital at approximately 8:35 a.m. According to witness statements, the full fire involvement of the living room, leading to a fully involved fire condition in the stairwell, occurred as the infants were being transported to the hospital. A hose line had been advanced into the entry foyer of the house. The dry hose line was placed on the floor while the firefighter returned to the engine to charge the line. When the hose line was charged, it was discovered that the hose had burned through and flames were coming out of the doorway to the house. At approximately 8:48 a.m., as a second fire crew made entry into the house and began to attack the fire with a hose line, a firefighter was discovered on the floor of the living room. Later, the other 2 firefighters from the first crew were found on the second floor, one on the landing at the top of the stairs with the child victim, and another in the doorway of the front bedroom. All 3 firefighters, the child found in the house, and the 2 children taken to the hospital died from injuries caused by the fire. The post-fire investigation confirmed that the fire started in plastic material on the stove, which was located at the far end of this photograph. The kitchen had fire damage throughout, consistent with a well-mixed post-flashover fire environment. The damage to the exterior of the house outside the kitchen can be seen in this photograph. In addition to the kitchen area, there was significant fire damage in the living room, the first floor hall, the stairway to the second floor hallway, and the rear bedroom above the kitchen. The dining room shown here and the other bedrooms and bathrooms had less damage than the other portions of the house. This study uses two computer programs developed by NIST. The Fire Dynamics Simulator, or FDS, is a physics-based program that predicts temperatures and fire behavior and has been demonstrated to predict the thermal conditions resulting from a compartment fire. FDS can provide valuable insight into how a fire may have developed. The program SmokeView was developed to display the results of a FDS computation. SmokeView produces animations or snapshots of FDS results. Inputs required by FDS include the layout and dimensions of the structure, the computational cell size, the location of the ignition source, the energy release of the ignition source, thermal properties of walls, ceiling, floors, and furnishings, and the size, location, and timing of door and window openings to the outside. This picture shows a front perspective view of the right side of the duplex from the SmokeView model. The outer box frame lines represent the volume modeled. The solid base is used to indicate the inert first floor material. The closed front door, the partially open front bedroom window, and the porch roof can be seen on the front side of the house. This is a side view of the model with the exterior wall removed. The front of the duplex is on the left. Moving to the right is the living room and the dining room on the first floor. The front bedroom and the middle bedroom can be seen on the second floor. The kitchen and the rear bedroom are obstructed by the outside wall of the duplex on the far right. Representations of a sofa and two chairs can be seen in the living room on the left side of the figure. The floating square in the dining room represents the dining room table and chairs. The kitchen window can be seen on the far right side of the house. This is a view of the simulated structure from the back. From this view, the stove can be seen centered in the kitchen, with the kitchen cabinets on the right side of the kitchen. The side of the duplex shared with the adjacent unit is shown here. From the bottom left and moving toward the right on the first floor is a bathroom, the kitchen, a closet under the stairs, and the entry foyer. On the second floor, another bathroom, the hall and open stairway, and the front bedroom can be seen. The area on the far right represents an area outside the front of the house. The fire started in plastic material on top of the stove. The simulation was started with a flaming ignition that corresponded to the approximate time at which the adult occupant and the neighbors became aware of the fire. The results from the Fire Dynamics Simulator are displayed with the program SmokeView as animations. In this case, the outer walls have been removed to provide an improved view of the interior of the duplex. The fire results are shown as a slice or a plane with a color bar that represents the corresponding temperature. 3 slices are shown in this animation. One is a temperature plane through the center of the kitchen and the dining room doorways. The second is perpendicular to the first and through the kitchen window, and the third is through the center of the stairs. The simulation time is shown at the lower left, and the bar at the bottom shows the progress of the animation. The temperature scale in degrees Fahrenheit is provided on the right. As the animation progresses, a distinct 2-layer environment can be seen in the living room and dining room at 485 seconds into the simulation. In the living room, the upper or hot gas layer temperatures are approximately 400 to 600 degrees. In the dining room, the hot gas temperatures are approximately 600 to 900 degrees. In both rooms, temperatures near the floor are near ambient. Gas temperatures in excess of 1100 degrees can be seen near the top of the kitchen doorway and at the top of the kitchen window. At 540 seconds into the simulation, gases in excess of 1100 degrees had spread across both the dining room and the living room, potentially igniting the combustible surfaces in the top portion of these rooms. Other gases, hotter than the ignition temperature of wood, are shown leaving the kitchen window and spreading up the outside of the house. This rapid change is consistent with the flashover occurring in the kitchen. Approximately 600 seconds or 10 minutes into the simulation, gases in excess of 1100 degrees have filled the open stairwell. A new capability in the Fire Dynamics Simulator and SmokeView is the ability to show a three-dimensional approximation of the flame surface area where fuel, heat, and oxygen are present such that flames may exist. The flames can be seen covering the top of the stove at approximately 220 seconds. Approximately 4 minutes later, at 490 seconds, the fire has spread across the kitchen ceiling and is vented through the kitchen window. At 525 seconds, the flame front has extended through the dining room and into the living room. At 600 seconds, flames are spreading up the stairway. This animation demonstrates how rapidly the fire grew and quickly the flames spread through the house, trapping the firefighters. In conclusion, the NIST FDS computer simulation predicted fire conditions and events that correlate well with information from both NIOSH and ATF. The model simulation was based on a fire that started on the kitchen stove. Smoke and hot gases from the fire began to spread through the house within seconds after ignition occurred. However, the FDS SmokeView simulation of the flame front indicates the fire itself did not spread beyond the kitchen until approximately 8 minutes after flaming ignition. The critical event in this fire was the onset of conditions consistent with flashover in the kitchen. At this point, approximately 8:32 a.m., this fire started a transition from a single room and contents fire with smoke throughout the structure to a fire that involved the majority of the structure within approximately 60 seconds. The hot gas layer temperatures in the living room increased from approximately 400 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit to more than 1100 degrees in less than 1 minute. The hot gases and flames continued to spread rapidly from the living room through the stairwell to the second floor. This quick change in thermal conditions and flame spread through the duplex led to the 3 firefighters being trapped inside and succumbing to the effects of the fire environment.